Hey, what's up, gamers? Welcome to the Safe File podcast, where, like every video game character, every gamer has an origin story to tell. I'm your host, Golden Lion, and today's guest has been in the clan gaming community for over 20 years. He's the founder of a Halo clan named the Frozen Shadows, which this year they will hit their 10th year anniversary. He has now moved on to that, and he is a speedrunner and now participates in a nonprofit charity stream called Dog Pound Expo, which they help bring awareness to mental illness. In their most recent charity stream, he and his team raised over $1,500 to fund treatments and recovery for people struggling with depression, addiction, self-injury, and even suicide. Gamers, I humbly and respectfully welcome Jacob Hembry, aka Pharroh Yami. What's up, man?
What is up, everyone?
How you
How you
doing?
doing?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. I'm excited for you to be on here, my friend.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Of course.
We wanted to do this about a week ago, but since we just did that charity stream,
Yeah,
we had to put it on hold. But
of
still
course.
excited to be here, happy to be here. Thank you for having me once again.
And thank you for being here, my friend. Real quick, I want to congratulate you on you and your team for raising $1,500, man. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. It
Of
really,
course.
I'm not the owner of the marathon. I have to do shout outs to Metadog. He is the one that is the owner of the Dog Pound, which is, his Twitch community. So like if you want to check it out, the Dog Pound, definitely go and follow him at twitch.tv/Metadog, Meddadog.
All right, listeners, I'll be sure to put that into the descriptions and everything else to help you guys get into that if you guys need it for more information on that. All right, Pharroh Yami. So, first question of the podcast. Explain your first experience with gaming.
Man, first experience with gaming. It's kind of hard for me because a lot of people, don't start gaming at least like our age. I'm 28 or 29. I don't keep track anymore.
Yeah.
um but like, we didn't have the accessibility to gaming like a lot of kids now. The mobile phones, the smartphones, handhelds, etc. It's all there. We're like when we were growing up, we had to pay like $90 for a console and then like $90 for a game, and that's all you got.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have to go search for the games. So like very fortunately for me, my grandmother is a gamer.
Oh,
So
nice.
like, I had the accessibility that most people didn't have at that age, right? So I can't like personally recall my first memory gaming. It's either like Super Metroid with my grandmother or Super Mario Brothers 3 with my grandmother. But like she would when she babysat me, she would, sit me up in a rocker and play her games. So it's like I've always been around gaming since like 2 weeks old, basically. As soon as I was home from a hospital, I was hearing video game music. So it's like I've literally grown up with it,
Mm-hmm.
except for the week and a half, 2 weeks I was at the hospital when I was first born, which is, pretty unique for me. Like now, a lot of people don't think about it because it's around everywhere. But at that time period, it's definitely different because I would have cousins and everything that were, a lot older than me, like 9, 10. They would be playing something. I'd be like 2, 3 years old, and they would be stuck on something and asking my grandmother because she would be the gamer of the family, you
Yeah.
know? And then she would just be like, "Oh, well, Jacob knows how to do it. Just let him do it." And they're like, "Nah, he doesn't know how to do this. We can't figure it out." And next thing you know, like I would be beating their game for them, and they would just be like, like what, how does he, and it's just so I've always grown up around gaming, fortunately for me, because it's just, my grandmother's been a big influence in that.
That's
So
awesome, man. So, Gma is the one that started everything for you, man.
yeah, basically she was, I want to say maybe like 50 years ago she started on the Atari. So
Does she still game
she
to this day?
Unfortunately, with a lot of issues, she went through back surgery and have it's just like She's 75, so
Okay.
unfortunately, with age, the decline in motor skills isn't really there for her. She did try to play Super Metroid again, and about 2 months ago, I found the books that she had from the '90s because she had two different books to help, that had all the maps and everything, and
She had the
she
strategy
decided,
books.
yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah,
Okay.
we still have one of them. Then the other one was a unofficial, like unauthorized version of it, where someone basically like took a copier of the book, the power guide, and then tried to sell it as their own. It's hilarious because it's the exact same book, but in like a black and white version,
That is amazing.
rearranged.
Yeah, that's dope.
Um,
I think from what I remember when I was younger, I was renting game. There was like these game rental places, and they did that. They would do that and make their own strategy book within the game case every time you rented it.
right,
Wow,
because
flashback. Holy crap.
it's crazy though, but yeah, they did that because they didn't want the books to get stolen.
Right.
You think
This
about it, some of those books had posters. Like
Oh, that's true.
you might be able to see right there is the Halo Reach book right behind my TV that has the Master Chief and Arbiter on the backside that
Yeah,
folds out into a poster.
that's dope.
So a lot of those, I have like a Final Fantasy 10-2 one that's like it came inside the case
Mhm.
and it's a giant freaking poster. It's way bigger than that flag.
Mhm.
And it folds out into the entire like sphere grid and all the stuff and
Oh man.
then a huge poster and the mascots in the back. So it's like, yeah, those things would get ripped off all the time.
Jeez, I'm a little jealous. I'm gonna need to give me one of them sphere grid posters. I mean, that's how we met, right? Final Fantasy X. You hopped onto my
Yeah,
stream.
right.
Yeah.
I did go through that game not too long ago and relived it. I still did not do what I wanted to do in the game. I just basically beat it.
Uh huh.
Still, like I think I beat Dark Valfor and Dark Ifrit, but the rest of them, I'm just like,
Too
it's so
much.
I don't know what to do because I've
Yeah.
never faced them before. I didn't have the international version.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're playing on the PS2 or the like what
Well,
gen you playing it on?
I have the remaster now,
Uh huh.
like when we met,
Yeah.
but I just originally the game came out in North America version, North America first,
Mhm.
and then the game came out in the rest of the world a year later.
That's awesome. That's cool.
So like people that were over in Europe and Japan, they had the Dark Aeons and Pennants and all of that, and the Master Spear Grid, while we did not on the PS2.
They would do such things.
Right? So like
Jealous.
so still like I even though I have the remaster, I've only beaten it and that's all I've done.
That's awesome, man. Well, wow. I think after this, I'm gonna go head back to Final Fantasy X and try because there's still a lot I haven't done yet. I can't wait for that. All right, so character creation, man. Little background of your life. So why the gamer tag Pharroh Yami?
Basically, like my whole online presence started about 20 years ago, and it mainly started on RuneScape. That's where the first place that I needed a name.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at that time period, huge Yu-Gi-Oh fan. Like, we were only halfway through season one at that point. I'm just like, you know, I still have cards and everything. So that's the reason why I've gone with the tag for 20 years. Uh, for people that aren't a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, in the show, the main character Yugi finds a Millennium Puzzle and it holds the spirit and from ancient Egypt, and he is the pharaoh.
Mm-hmm.
Yami means dark in Japanese, and so that's to signify all the like the spirits in the show. When you're like playing one of the games, they call them like Yami Yugi to signify it's the spirit or Yami whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I just rearranged it and because Pharaoh Yami sounded better than Yami Pharaoh or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Oh,
So that's where my name comes from, and ever since, like, I'm not a fan of going by multiple names. I would like to stick to one name, and plus, it's easier to find history on me if look at the right places. Unfortunately, you get a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, so you kind of have to filter out to really find stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah, I was
on
gonna
certain
ask, like,
websites,
what's like a particular website people can find your history on?
um, so the major one where you can find a lot of history is the Frozen Shadows, the Halo clan.
Okay.
That's where we did a lot of the most website work for my own stuff, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be at the Frozen Shadows .weebly.com.
Hey, nice. Okay. So where are you from?
I am from Houston, and I'm still residing currently in Houston. I'm in a Houston suburb, but it's technically called Magnolia. It's dude, this place is so stupid because I'm like an hour and a half from downtown,
Uh-huh.
but I'm still considered Houston. But my town's called Magnolia.
Houston's really that big?
Yeah.
Holy crap. So how was your childhood?
Um, childhood is like, what do you mean by it? Because that's kind of like a touchy subject in a
Whatever
way.
you're willing to share, man.
Well, like, I said earlier I suffer from bipolar and ADHD, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I had a rocky time between like the ages 8 to 15, you know, going through puberty and then everything else. It's hard to go through, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like the doctors didn't know how some of these meds would affect you, and everything. And right now, they know that bipolar medicine cancels out ADHD medication. It just makes the symptoms worse. Well, 20 years ago, they didn't know that. So instead of like taking me off medication and whatnot, and unfortunately, this happened to a lot of people, because the doctors didn't know and they were kind of like testing drugs,
Mm-hmm.
and it's unfortunate. I'm not the only one it happened to, it happened to others as well. But at one point, they're just like, well, since this combination doesn't work, we'll just add this one to counteract this one and counteract this one. And next thing you know, it turned into a medicine cocktail. And I was doing like 15 different medicines, and there's a whole 2 years of my life that all I remember is because I couldn't swallow pills at that time. I was,
Mm-hmm.
so it was all liquid meds. I just remember like shots of medicine like this constantly. Like, I was sleeping like 23-hour days, only awake for an hour. My mom says the hour I was awake, I looked like a zombie. And that's when I left the hospitals, because I was in like treatment for a full 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So like I still suffer from side effects from that, horrible memory loss, just like basic motor skills sometimes can be hard. Unfortunately, there's just a lot of shit that, went wrong and I suffer from because that time period. Um, as far as like the rest of my childhood, it was good. My mom did everything that she could to, take me places, go out. I've been to NASA multiple times. I've been to Mission Control. I've been to Moody Gardens multiple times down in Houston. I've went to see the Astros once. I went to WWE Night of Champions. Unfortunately, it was the weekend that Chris Benoit, you know,
Past. Yeah.
yeah, that whole situation. But I was able to go to like two events, when I was younger. So like in a way, the good has kind of counterbalanced the bad,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I can't recall a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's definitely weird when you start thinking um how different things like that can really affect a person, because it's like it's almost been 20 years since then,
Yeah.
and I'm still suffering from stuff like that. And so if that's one reason, like, I'm very passionate about trying to raise mental awareness in a way, because it's
Mhm.
like, if I know what affects me 20 years ago, what else can can something be affecting someone else? And like, I think the way mental awareness is and how it gets swept under the rug
Mhm.
is a really bad thing. And I think that needs to change as well. Just kind of like stemming on from that.
Mhm.
But yeah, childhood was rocky but good at the same time.
So going through what you went through, um, how did that expand your perspective in life?
Uh, I don't know. I think of it how, I treat people how I want to be treated, right?
Mhm.
You know, like if I'm having a rough day or something, like I don't expect other people to necessarily cheer me up, but like just acknowledging my existence would mean a lot, instead of like, you know, if you walk past someone and you could tell that, like visibly tell that they're upset or that they've got like tears running down their face or something, why not acknowledge their existence? Because, just taking like 30 seconds out of your time can mean a lot more than you just being another person that ignores them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I think that's a real big problem in this world too. People just being, face down type of way, like looking at the floor when they walk, just take the time to acknowledge someone else's existence. And I think overall this world would be better. Like you look how, kids were raised 30 years ago to now, and it's completely different. We have kids literally raising kids. And I think that's a big problem,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
the kids themselves don't know any better. So how are they going to teach their own kid? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one reason why I haven't had a kid either, because it's like I can't afford to take care of myself, much less another, human, type of thing. So it's like I really think this world overall needs to like get their common sense back.
Common sense ain't so common nowadays, my friend.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. It's just unfortunate because, you know, a lot of people need help. Mental illness is worse and worse a lot. And it's hard for people to get help when they do suffer, because they feel like they will be attacked for, something that they deal with on a regular basis. And
Mhm.
that's messed up. Um, a good example of like that is when I was heavily running my Halo clan. This was about 8 years ago. We had a guy come in by the name of Warstar, and at first, something seemed off. Just the way he acted, the way he talked, I could tell he dealt with something. You you just get that feeling sometimes when you talk to someone, be like, okay, they might suffer from something, because there's a visibility tell to it.
Mhm.
um and the more like he talked with us, and he really wanted to be a part of the clan, and we finally let him, because we didn't want to like discourage anyone, but we were looking for people with a little bit more skill than he had. But that's fine. You could help, build the community, be around, support, etc. There's plenty of places for everyone, right? Well, soon after, we find out that he is like heavily autistic, which made sense, just the way, like, sometimes we'd, have to like repeat ourselves multiple times, or be like, hey, Warstar, focus, or, like, come with us. a little bit more than we would have to with others, you know what I mean? Which isn't
Mhm.
a problem. I'm not like trying to talk down on them or anything, you know, but we find out, this all in like 2 months span, we find out that he was getting bullied at school for being autistic. And like we that he had no friends at it, in real life. Everyone just bullied him because of his autism. And that's really, really wrong. Anyone that bullies someone like that are like, y'all need to check yourselves in the mirror and reevaluate y'all's lives, because like that is so much wrong on like a deeper level, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so it's like, then we started to feel really bad, because it's like, here he is, he's just looking for friends. And, we decided to be those friends. We wanted to help him, because you don't want, like, he was 12 years old at that time. I can't imagine, what he went through, exactly like worse than what I went through, right? So I think we all just need to take the time and like reevaluate how we look at people in general, because like I can't say that like what we did, didn't like save his life or anything, but I know it helped him get through like a horrible fucking time period in his life, and if like we could have that impact as a small little halo group
Mhm.
on one person's life without even meeting them, then like what kind of impact can we do with people right next to us? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And you start looking at it that way, and it's just like, I'm going to bring the FGC into this analogy of just people needing to help more in general.
Mhm.
There's a lot of stuff that goes into running tournaments, especially offline. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and there's hardly any volunteers for it, you know? And what drives me nuts is you'll have hundreds of competitors come out, and if they just spent 30 minutes through the entire weekend helping, everything would be much smoother. And don't tell me not every single one of those competitors does not know how to hook up a monitor and a console, because 90% of it is hooking up equipment like that. I
Yeah.
mean, come on. You don't know how to plug in an electrical cord into another electrical cord. Like, we all have these consoles, we all have these equipments, we all know how to do them. If people just helped,
Yeah.
it would make everything smoother. And I don't understand why people, because I would spend like 20 hours out of a 3-day weekend doing shit like that.
Mhm.
I'm just like, if five others just helped, we would be done in 10 minutes instead of me doing it for an hour.
Mhm.
And so it's just like, it kind of makes me mad in a way,
Yeah.
the lack of common decency anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On a large scale in this world. I'm not saying that people don't have it,
Yeah.
but it's very few in between. You know what I mean?
Oh
And the
yeah, definitely
power
know
of
what you
the
mean.
internet has allowed people to be trolly, to be toxic, to be, you know, all these horrible things without any repercussions. And the online bullying as well needs to stop. It's just, I have a lot of opinions on it, and so because it's like stuff that I've gone through, that I've had to deal with. And
Mhm.
like, I don't want anyone else that deals with stuff worse than I do to actually, end up being like, all right, well, I'm done dealing with this, and decides to do that. I'm not saying do it. Like, go get help if you're ever thinking about that.
Mhm.
Like, hell, reach out to me and I'll fucking like at least lend an ear. I'm not going to like cut my ear off or anything and lend it to you, but I'll sit and like talk and you can bitch at me about stuff and I'm not going to judge because I've gone through shit similar.
Yeah. So the shit that you went through, because it seems like you've had quite of experience experiencing childhood. So to help you get through that, what were some of your role models growing up? Who were some of your role models growing up?
I mean, it was hard, right? Because I
Mhm.
didn't really have any role models. I didn't really have anyone to look up to because like what I consider a role model is more someone that I could interact with,
Mhm.
that I know more on a personal level, you know what I mean? So like I didn't look at any celebrity or whatever as like a necessarily a role model because I didn't know them outside of camera life.
Yeah.
So how can I say they're a role model when I don't know outside the camera? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, I mean, the closest I kind of had was like my grandfather, you know, um,
Why him?
and he was like the only male role model I had in my life, completely. I never had a dad. Like, well, I have a dad, but um, a lot of shit happened before I was born, and I've never met him. So, and I don't care to meet him. But yeah, it's like my grandfather was the only one that was really you know, there for me like as a male role model. So it's like I didn't have a choice into like who to pick. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
wasn't really fortunate enough to have like a lot of role models or anything. So it could be hard, when you're struggling to find your own way. You know what I mean? So
So so for those that are listening and they are going through what you went through, what is something that you could what's some advice that you could help them get through it?
um
Or maybe some advice that, stuff that you look back now that you could have done different to help you get through.
that's a hard question to answer. Just because sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
um just because it really depends on the situation. Everyone goes through different things, right?
Yes.
um but definitely don't go through it alone, whatever it is. Like, for me personally, when I'm upset or depressed or something, I cannot be alone. The more alone I am, no matter how much I'm pissed at someone
Mhm.
or whatever, I could be pissed at my mom, right? Completely pissed at her. But if I'm depressed as well, I can't be alone. So like even though I'm pissed with my mom, she'll come out and like come in and hang out with me and I'll play like Rocket League or something. Even though I'm fucking pissed at her, but
Mhm.
with my mind, my depression just like gets the best of me. And I know that's like that for a lot of other people. So don't let your mind get the best of you. Don't let your mind, circle around in negative thoughts. Try to find something that you could at least space out on, where you could just focus and, don't let anything distract you. Find something that you find positive or helpful or fun. There's, a lot of things, even going for a walk, if you're more like an athletic type and want to, go to the gym or, literally get a punching bag and beat away the frustration, whatever works for you,
Mhm.
but don't go through it alone. Don't let the negative thoughts overtake your mind. If need be, reach out to Right Love Honor Arms because they're a fantastic charity that will help you get help.
That's good, man. Thanks for all that. I'm pretty sure whoever's listening needed to hear that, man. Thank you so much for sharing that. Despite of all the darkness, Describe one of the greatest days of your life in your childhood.
In my childhood or
Yeah.
just in general?
Whatever
Because
you will. Whatever you want. Huh? Whatever you
childhood's a
want.
little iffy because, with everything that I've gone through, my memory loss
Okay.
is
So.
so like I would have to pick from so, more like, teenager to now because what would probably be considered one of my like greater days,
Mhm.
I can't recall at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 So how
So,
about
but
from like starting from teenager? Like, what's some of the greatest days of your life that you can
um
recall?
well, I would really have to say when I went to Killer Instinct World Cup, the first day of LCQs was a really fantastic, emotional, crazy. I mean, like just mix everything up in a jar and
Mhm.
toss it around. It was a fantastic experience. At the time, right?
Yeah.
Because I just started running my own tournaments. I had business cards made like crazy, and I was handing them out. I swear, I had more social promotion for my stuff than Killer Instinct World Cup did.
Oh wow. Okay.
I mean, while I was at World Cup,
Mhm.
it was kind of like embarrassing from my standpoint because more people kind of knew about my tournament than the Killer Instinct World Cup in San Antonio. Like some of the delivery drivers were pissed that they didn't know about it and they're having to deliver food up there 24/7 and they would have came and played and whatnot. There was like no local promotion for the event. It was weird.
Hmm.
So, but I was handing out all my stuff because got to promote myself. I'm doing tournaments, got to start somewhere.
Of course.
So we're getting matches started, and I had to buy into the second round. Woohoo! One match less that I have to play.
Yeah.
So I was happy about that. And then I find out I'm going on stage for my match,
Oh damn.
and I'm like, "Wait, me? I'm going on stage?" I wasn't like a great player at that point.
Mhm.
I was only playing maybe a year competitively and was starting from scratch. But I was just like, "Wait, me? Oh, why me? There's so many other great players that could be playing."
uh,
And I was really confused by it. Like 200 people chanting my fucking name.
200
And
people chanting your name.
I'm not even kidding. Like you had people from Screw Attack, Ultra Arcade, Blue Hurricane. I mean, you had the entire Houston squad chanting. Like we handed out my business cards to like everyone knew my name, and and I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out so much because like I didn't have headphones. I couldn't drown it out. And
Uh-huh.
they're like yelling, "Kick his ass, Pharroh, let's go!" I'm just like I was not prepared for the crowd,
Wow.
and I'm playing and I win the first match, right? And everyone's
Hey,
popping
there you
off
go.
and I'm just like I'm trying to keep my cool. I'm like thumbs up.
Yeah.
I'm freaking out. Like my body's like I'm all shaking and everything. And halfway through the second match, I lose complete feeling in my hands. I cannot feel my hands at all because my nerves have completely taken over, right?
Yeah.
Because they're chanting my name this entire freaking time. I'm just like, I can't take the emotion anymore.
Yeah.
No, it was so unreal for me to experience that. But like I lose the second game because like what do you expect? I can't feel my hands. I don't know
Yeah.
what buttons I'm pressing.
Mhm.
Like there's nothing I can do about that.
So,
But we go into the third game. Of course, everyone's like, "Don't worry, Pharaoh, you got it this time." They're all going off. It
mhm.
sounded crazy in there. Unfortunately, like the commentators were like 3 stories up, so you can't hear any of the crowd in the video, which is like really
Oh,
unfortunate. And the
damn.
commentators had no idea, so it's like the commentary for it is like not hype at all, even
Mm-hmm.
though the crowd like would have made them hype.
Yeah.
But like, anyways, I win the third match. Everyone's going crazy. My nerves are freaking out, and it was just like that was probably one of my happiest moments. Just in getting a win on stage, Killer Instinct World Cup. Even though I was a scrub, I had everyone chanting my name, and it was such a like overfill of like every single emotion possible, and it was just a crazy experience.
That sounds
Um,
insane, man. That sounds. But how did everybody know your name though? Who you were?
because like I handed out like my all right, hold on. I think I have them. Let me. Yes, I do. Let's see. So you look right here.
Yeah.
That's my gamer tag.
So everybody know who you were because you were so busy just putting
I hand,
yourself out there.
I
That's
handed
awesome.
over 250 of these out Friday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
That's how everyone knew my name.
That's awesome, man. Hell yeah.
Like I said, I did a lot of promotion for myself,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like it was a crazy experience.
So you won the third match. What happened after that?
Oh, it was 2 out of 3, so I won that match, and then, I did a fist pump. There's a picture of me, I have saved on my computer right as I won, doing a fist pump, and if you look at my hands, you could tell, like, I have blood vessels about ready to pop because my hands are so red on my thumb from me because I couldn't feel my hands, so it's like,
Yeah.
I had to put more pressure to be able to feel the nerves.
Yeah.
And you could just see like my thumb's this bright ass red and the rest of my hands like dead white.
Jeez, man.
So you could tell like I was having issues with my hands,
Yeah.
in the picture, but like it was just overall a crazy experience. I'm grateful for it. You know, Looking back, it was still a great, experience, but I'm not through what happened in the FGC, and I'm just going to leave it short and sweet. The people that were rooting for me turned around and screwed me over in a way. So it's just like it makes it bittersweet. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, yeah, I had all these guys rooting for me, but then you fast forward it 2 years later, and all the work I did, and it's just like, you know, and so it makes it bittersweet looking back at it. And
Hmm.
that's just kind of how I'm going to leave that with the FGC.
Okay.
Even though like I will say I got to commentate on Team Spooky's channel. Like, so that was another, kind of a hype moment for me because Team Spooky was, or not was, but is the, top stream to go for fighting games. So that was cool for me as well.
Damn. Sounds like you had a lot of. Even though it was bittersweet, man, it did seem like it was one hell of experience to go through. That's awesome.
I I will say, through all in all, FGC wise, and my own issues with the FGC, it's what helped me get to where I am right now. And I am still thankful to the people that supported me throughout everything that happened, all the way down to the end, and still to this day. um and the people that basically chased me out, y'all are definitely missing me because I did a lot of work for the community, and I will do it in other places where I'm more respected.
Hey, that's what's up. Know your worth, ladies and gentlemen. Know your damn worth. That's what's
Yeah,
up. I
definitely,
applaud you for
because
that, my friend. Thank you.
if you don't know your own worth, then you're just going to let other people tread on you, and I got tired of that. I did so much, not only online, but people don't even realize how much I helped other communities that I wasn't even involved in the FGC when it
Mm-hmm.
came to offline stuff. And it's just like, you can't chase those type of people out. The people that are doing work for your community, regardless of it's like content production,
Mm-hmm.
streaming, organizing stuff, even if it's
Mm-hmm.
smaller stuff, they're still trying to do their work to help the community benefit from it. And to anyone listening, you definitely don't want to chase those people out. You chase those people out, your community is going to dwindle.
Mm-hmm.
And you just like, if you really care about any gaming community, you want it to survive. You want to have their best foot forward. Prime example, Super Metroid's been out for 25 years and has more of a community than a lot of games have 2 years after the release, and that's because the love and the respect of those people to wanting to keep their game around.
Exactly. That's awesome, man. Well, thank you for sharing all that, man. So for the next segment we're gonna get into is your attributes. So you're familiar with RPG games.
Yes,
So
I
with
am.
every character creation, there's a set of attributes or characteristic traits that you're given, and you rank yourself from like 1 to 5. Five being the highest. So I'm gonna give you a few characteristics traits, and you rank yourself 1 to 5, 5 being the highest. Cool?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Interesting.
Alrighty. Grit.
Oh man. I would say like 3.
Curiosity.
That's like a 5.
Social intelligence.
I would probably say 3, just because I am awkward at times. It happens.
Hey man, I still love you. It's cool. Gratitude.
Definitely 4.
Optimism.
Probably a 2.
Integrity.
Probably a 4, 4.5. I don't want to like give me 5.
Alright, man. If you feel like you want to give yourself a 5, give yourself a damn 5, okay? Don't do that to
um,
yourself.
sure, we'll go with the 5.
Okay. Patience.
Oh shit, my patience is horrible. Like that's something I struggle with so much is like trying to be patient. So that's got to be a 1. Automatically that's a 1.
Hey, at least you can admit it,
Right?
Adventurous.
I'm lazy as hell. uh
Awesome.
we'll put it at like a 3 because I can be if I'm in shape.
Okay, that makes sense. Tolerance.
Tolerance to what exactly? Because if we're saying like annoying,
Uh-huh.
that my tolerance for annoying's like a 1.
Okay,
But
a
if we're
1.
talking tolerance for um like alcohol related, I
No, like
tolerance
just your
I
personal, I guess
oh
it's like patience, I guess you could say. Your
all
tolerance.
right. We'll put it at like a 2 because I could tolerate some stupidity and some
Yeah.
annoyance,
Okay.
but really like common sense is the way not to annoy me.
All right, confidence.
Uh we'll put it at a 3.
Charisma.
Probably a 2.
Silliness.
Yeah, that's like 1.
Shyness.
Oh, that's a heavy like 4 or 5.
Stubbornness.
Uh, hmm. I can be stubborn at sometimes.
Okay.
I'm not like, rock solid up here.
Imagination.
Probably a 4 because I've always wanted to do video game design, so there's a lot of stuff that once I have like a path,
Yeah.
I can like spread out and, there's a lot of stuff that I would love to like just go over and tweak to games. Like I want to be a tweaker to fix all the stupid shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Forgiveness.
uh, a 4,
Open-minded.
5,
Self-awareness.
probably a 3,
Courage.
probably a 3,
Respect.
Oh, that's like a solid 5. It's all about that respect. If you don't have respect, then you don't have anything else.
Yes, sir. Critical thinking.
I would have to put it on a 3 because it depends. Like, if I'm like depressed or anything or like upset, my thinking goes like out the window. So, um, it could go both ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, competitiveness.
Oh shit, that's a 5. We play some Halo Reach. I am definitely going after that. We are gonna pound some. Let's get it. Let's get some
Let's
W's.
go. Yes, sir.
Oh my
Wiz.
god. Real quick, sorry,
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
gotta.
No, you're fine.
I cannot believe the trash talk that happens with Mora. Like, you were talking about it on Twitter. I got hit
Overwatch?
3 times yesterday
Okay.
talking about how I was a trash Mora with over 20k healing and like 5k damage.
Listen, here's what I've learned with shit talkers in the gaming industry, especially in gaming. You know what? Just gamers shit talking while you're gaming to their own team. Listen, I know I'm doing a good job, but you shitting on me and I got stats to prove that I'm doing a good job. You're really self-reflecting on your own skill, my friend. So,
100%.
double-edged sword. So be careful. Not everybody can peep that, but there's very few that can. All right. So, uh, fairness.
Probably a 4. I feel confident with a 4 on that because, like, I look at situations,
Mm-hmm.
what type of situation happens. So it's like, you know, try to be more fair off of what's happened, not just, you can't necessarily give everyone the same type of fairness in a way. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It's very situational based.
Of course. Sensitivity.
Oh, yeah, definitely a 5. I could be sensitive as fuck sometimes.
It's
But
okay, man. You're a
that's
human being. It's okay to be sensitive. It's all right.
right. I mean, it depends on the subject, like everyone has that subject that, you hit that button and then it hits like hitting that light switch and they're, from calm to angry type
Yep.
thing. So,
Yeah, I understand that. All right, last one, my friend. Luck.
oh, I have shitty luck that it's a 1. Like our good luck day is Friday the 13th. So,
Oh, damn. Okay.
if that
That's
says
one way to
anything to
put it.
y'all.
All right, man. So we went through your character creation. You set yourself your attributes. Now let's go ahead for your main quest. So what is
Oh
something that you're
boy.
working on right now?
Right now, it's kind of like a chill moment.
Mm-hmm.
We just got done with the charity event. That's what I was really working on.
Okay.
I think what's next for me is to really decide on what I want to do next and get back into streaming, like 100%. Ever since I left the FGC, my streaming has really gone, downhill. Like it was in a way as an example, I feel like my soul was ripped out from my
Mm,
body. It just kind of put me in that mood. So it's taken me like a lot of time to recover from it. I think it's just going to take more time. I will say like I have been streaming a little bit more. I did like an hour and a half stream last night, so it steps in the right direction,
mm-hmm.
but I don't think I'll ever be the same type of streamer I was like 2 years ago. So it's like I need to try to find my place again, on where I want to go. I mentioned Rocket League and Overwatch and Halo Reach already. Um, I might still do some speed running, depending on if I could find more of a passion for it. Maybe something that's not as long that has a lot of critical stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing with like trials. It's nothing to do with glitches or anything. It's just how well can you do each course, from point A to point B without crashing a whole lot. So like that's not too bad overall. But yeah, it's just kind of like where do I go from here type of thing. It's something that I'm gonna have to figure out and try to
Yeah.
figure out soon. But my main goal is to get back into streaming and trying to do that more 100%. or as close to 100%, try to have some good content and provide a positive place.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna ask. Like, why streaming?
Well, unfortunately, with my own issues, it's hard to have a regular job, and it definitely is hard to, bring in any income,
Mm-hmm.
especially, when I'm trying to do different events, and it is a strain on the wallet. And I'm not necessarily saying I'm doing streaming 100% for money, because if I was, y'all would see a lot more of me over the last few months. But for me, I can't really put on a fake face, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. People can tell when I'm upset or something, so it's like, if I'm not feeling good, I don't feel like I put on good content. So, and that's what's been hard for me about streaming, is like I want to put on good content,
Mm-hmm.
but I will also want to have fun at the same time. I feel like streaming by myself, or at least not, excuse me, at least not playing with others, when I stream, does affect my mood. It's not necessarily about having people in chat. It's more about, hey, let's have some fun as a group and let's do some work in a game.
Mm-hmm.
you know I miss that old community aspect of stuff. I've been always heavily involved of playing with other people, being RuneScape to Halo to Fantasy Star Online and Fantasy Star Universe, and other games that I've played, other communities I've joined. Up until the FGC, it was more about playing with each other as a group.
Yeah.
So I kind of got lost from that, and I'm trying to find, hey, what's a good group of people we could, sit down and have some days on Overwatch, or sit down and have some plays on, Rocket League or whatever. And I think, like, once I get that passion back for gaming,
Mm-hmm.
then my streaming will be a lot better. And, then the streaming, if people feel like, they want to be generous by donating or bits or, subscribing, then awesome. Thank you so much for the support, because all of that goes into helping fund to get out to events or to pay my bills, whatever it may be at that time that, stuff comes in. So it's just like, I do whatever I can, basically. And that's kind of the goal with streaming, is to have fun. And if I can earn a little bit of money along the way, then awesome,
Yeah.
because that's pretty much what I have outside of some other small stuff that I could do online on the computer. I'm going to do some, like, try to do some video editing stuff for other people, but got to play it by ear and see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a process,
Of course.
you unless you try, you're not going to know. So that's
Yeah.
my whole intent, is keep on trying, keep on trying, keep on trying, and hopefully stuff will turn out and I'll get to a place that I actually really want to be.
Of course. So, all right. So you've described your main quest. So with every main quest, there's always some side quests. Can't forget
Of
those.
course.
So what is something you're working on the side? Like you did mention video editing.
Um yeah, that's going to be something on the side that I'm going to be doing. Of course, like, it's hard to really do too much because I do have my grandmother we have to take care of. She is
Mm-hmm.
getting in to old age, and so anything that's like heavy or like septic, trash, etc., vacuuming stuff that they can't do, moving groceries in, etc., like I do that. So, like, I guess taking care of grandma is his side quest, because, like, that's what the other half of my day is kind of filled
Okay.
with, is just doing various stuff for her.
You plan on being more involved doing charity streams or even speed running?
um as of right now, probably not. Like, I well, let me rephrase that. As far as speed running, probably not. Like, me as a speed runner. Me being involved in different charity stuff, 100%. I'm always, if I'm able to, I will.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would just prefer, if it's a speed running thing, I would prefer to be on the back end of things. Uh, I don't really necessarily want to run. I think it's too much pressure for me, especially I'm not trying to like make anything worse, but I had my own issues this previous weekend and stuff was not taken care of to my expectations
Mm-hmm.
regarding the stream elements of things.
Mm-hmm.
But if I knew about it, we could have taken care of it in advance. And unfortunately, we just couldn't for some reason. I didn't get there till Friday at like 1 o'clock in the morning, so like I needed sleep. So I thought stuff was going to be taken care of a little bit better, and so I'd prefer to be on the backside of things. That way I can make sure stuff is better. Because I'll go through everything. I have like a specific way that I want to make sure stuff runs smoothly. Everyone gets their due part.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason that um someone else has to go get someone else to do something on the computer because they don't know how to do it or something. You know what I mean? Or just various little stuff that could be
Yeah.
easily fixed. I don't mind doing that stuff because I would rather the event or whatever go off smooth than have any issues. So it's like, if I could be more involved that way, more helping out the stream, hosting, etc. I think that's more where I lie, as far as speed running goes.
Mm-hmm. All right then.
But
I like it. I like it. So, what are some personal development goals you're working on then?
personal development is losing a little bit of weight right now, especially right before the holidays. My mom bakes a whole bunch of fudge and English toffee and
Yeah.
stuff, so it's like I gotta lose some weight, prepare for the holiday season.
Of course. You ain't alone on that, brother. You ain't alone. Uh,
So I guess that's personal goal. Other than always trying to stay positive.
mm-hmm.
That's always I think the main goal when it comes to personal because there's so much negativity in this world that it's easy to lose sight of the positive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes even with like the way news is on social media, you have to kind of look at it more like okay, yeah, the situation might be horrible, but it necessarily doesn't concern me and I shouldn't be as worried about it as it's letting me, like there's a lot of stuff that happens and for me personally, I can't necessarily try to focus on some of that stuff or worry about it no matter how horrible it is. I'm not saying that you can't feel bad for people that are involved or the situation or anything,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're going through stuff, why add that to your plate, you know? Um so it's just like, sorry, I don't know what point I was getting to, but like I said, if you leave me rambling, I'll get on. I'll just get all
It's the whole point of a podcast is to talk,
off.
man. It's cool.
But yeah, I just think the world itself could be a lot better.
Oh yeah, for sure. 100%.
Kind of leave it basic, because I literally like I went. Wait, what was I supposed to be talking about?
It's all right, man. It's all right. So what are your top 5 games of all time?
Ooh, man, that is. You should have asked me that like 2 days ago. That way I could try to prep a list.
Oh, man. Well, right off the
um,
bat.
yeah, let's see. Because like when people have asked me, I've always kind of had to go like by console in a
Oh,
way.
okay.
Because it's hard for me to compare something like Super Metroid to Halo. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
because it's like two completely different games, but still both can hold like the top spot and their, genre type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And but I guess personal, and I'll just like in no particular order, just off of ones that I've got the most enjoyment from and the probably most playthroughs. Super Metroid is up there. Just the music alone, how can you not get hyped about some of that music?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and like for that time period, Super Metroid was so far in advance, and it was an amazing game to grow up with. You know, uh, I would have to put Halo 2 on that list specifically for the campaign. No matter how much the multiplayer is trash, and I will stand by it. Halo 2's multiplayer is garbage. Play Reach, get good PC players. I don't know if you've seen all those PC players getting a little pissed about Reach, but that's been funny
No.
to watch. Um, but I gotta put Final Fantasy X in there. That one hits my heart so much.
Same.
I've played through that one so much. As horrible as some of the voice acting is and cringy to this day, uh, you know, it still pulls my heart.
Of
You know,
course. Yeah.
there's those games that really hit the heart, and those are the games that I love. I feel like I get a personal attachment out of the games that at the end or whatever makes me have a tear down my eye. That's
Mm-hmm.
a fucking good game.
Yeah, for sure.
So so that's three. Unfortunately, I have to put the Mass Effect trilogy in there
Okay.
as one. Just because the whole thing is so good. I've been replaying it as well. This is like my 27th playthrough
Damn.
of Mass Effect. I love the series. It's great. And then as a series as well, and I'm going to go with the original three, Donkey Kong Country,
Okay.
one,
All
two, and
right.
three.
All right.
That's another childhood favorite right there.
Uh-huh.
Um, you know, all of them a little bit different from each other. Of course, I think my personal favorite out of the original three it would be Dixie and Kitty in the third one. That one just appealed to me more than the first two.
Yeah.
Even, but the second one's so iconic with everything,
Yeah.
and like we could all pretty much be in agreement. Donkey Kong Country music is some of the best video game music.
See, I'm
Uh,
bobbing my head
I
right now because I could hear it. It's
the
catchy.
aquatic theme from
Yeah.
the aquatic theme alone is one of the best
So chill.
freaking
So
musics
chill.
for
Yeah.
20 years. It wasn't really until Halo that music started taking more development in it.
Mm-hmm.
Halo's really one that pushed that envelope. Which is why it's on my list as well.
Yeah, they definitely did a good job. Well, that's a hell of a good list, man. All right, so main quest, side quest. You spoke about that. So let's talk about your final boss. What is a long-term goal you wish to conquer?
uh I would love to be a head of my own video game department somewhere.
What do you mean?
Like own my own video game company or like be the one that's in charge type thing.
Okay. So what kind of games though? Like what genre of games?
That's the thing. It doesn't matter because I love almost every genre except for real-time strategy. So, like it really doesn't matter to me. Like I love shooters, I love RPGs. Platformers are cool even though it's not my more preferred thing.
Yeah.
I love sports games. So like I wouldn't even I've had this weird like sports game I wanted to do for like the last 15 years, and I'm going to try not to give too much of it away. But basically we've kind of seen some other games similar, like NFL Blitz, where
Yeah,
there's different power ups and whatnot. Um,
like FIFA Street, NBA Street,
yeah,
NBA Ballers. Yep.
something similar, but I wanted to do more like superhero type stuff.
Okay.
And so, like, and I haven't even thought about this in years, but like, I would always think, how cool would it be to have Flash throw a pass to himself, you know,
Oh, okay. I see what you're
and
doing.
different type shit.
Yeah.
Superman could crash through it. Of course, you'd have to get all the licenses,
Yeah.
etc.
Uh
But
huh.
I mean, I always thought it was a cool idea. Just have the field like 1,000 yards one way and like 500 wide. You should be good to go.
Yeah. That's definitely an interesting idea. That's pretty cool.
I mean, but like it would just I would love to be involved somewhere. Of course I would have to go through college, get, designer degrees and whatnot. But, through my stuff with the FGC, I've been closer than I've ever been. So it just
Mm-hmm.
makes me want to just keep pushing and I'll find my way in eventually, you know. Um and when my tournaments were sponsored by Microsoft, I mean, I just felt on top of the world with it because it's like you can't get much higher than Microsoft.
Yeah.
And so that was like another special thing that happened to me. And so it's like I know it's achievable. I know I can do it. And I have the
Mm-hmm.
contacts to be able to help me, help point me in the right direction if I need to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I just want to figure something out. I will find my way in, do something, and it might take me 10 years, but I'm willing to do it. Like closer than I've ever been.
That's a good final boss to defeat, man. I really well, real quick. What would you name it? What would you name your company? Have you
Oh
thought of a name?
man.
Yeah.
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 I don't even name my own characters in R.
You don't name your own characters in
You know,
RPGs?
I can't. I like coming up with a name is so frustrating. Like
Listen,
the
I got
last
you. I am the
oh,
best at names, bro. I
the
got you.
last character I had to make was for like NHL 20 for their like online mode.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, "Mom, I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything." So she was like, "Why not call him Dwayne Dwetzky?"
Dwayne Dwesky.
Yep.
Dwayne Dwetzky. It's like a little bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah,
Dwayne
so I
Dwetzky.
named him Dwayne Dwetzky, and then put Wayne Special Bro.
Wow.
Like, quite the gangster.
Savage. I love it though. That's dope.
Hey, I suffer from that stuff. I could do that.
All
I am
right, you're
special
right. You're right.
myself.
You get a pass. You definitely get a pass for that. Hell yeah.
But yeah, like I don't name my own stuff, so naming would definitely be hard. I have no
Mm-hmm.
idea. That's why I said like, or it could be like the lead of someone else's company or whatever. Like work my way up,
That'd be dope. Yeah.
or to like, or like even just to like lead my own team inside a company. You know what I mean?
Uh huh. That's dope, man. All right. So after defeating your final boss, your quest hits game over. What's a legacy or impact you wish to leave behind in your save file?
I mean, for legacy impact, um, I guess I just want to be known as someone that has always tried to do what they can for any community that they've been a part of.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily about any specific community I've been in, but I've always wanted to do my best no matter where I was. So like I would like to be remembered for, the work I've done,
Mm-hmm.
and the work I will do. And for any I guess more than just me, I would rather have the Frozen Shadows legacy last a lot longer. because that's like my pride and joy in a way. I worked really hard on that clan, and to see it maybe come back this year, and possibly do something, I would like to see that legacy go on because I feel like that clan is my legacy in a way. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So like positivity, community work, you know, and a hell of a gamer basically.
That's awesome.
I mean, I can't ask for much as long as, maybe someone 100 years from now be like, yo, that Pharaoh guy seems like a cool guy. I would be happy with that.
That's awesome, man. All right, where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitter at Pharroh Yami, PharrohYami. You got to misspell Pharaoh to get it right. I was 9 years old when I created that tag, so sure you're spelling it wrong. Uh, but yeah, you'll find me at there. Right now, I don't have a Discord. I mean, I kind of have a Discord, but it's inactive. So just find me at Twitter, at Pharroh Yami, and then on Twitch, twitch.tv/ Pharroh space Yami. Same as the Twitter, but got to add in the space.
Awesome, man. Well, my friends, well, gamers, you heard it yourself. Pharroh Yami, you could tell by the softness in his heart and everything has went through. He's doing nothing and everything he can to put more positivity into the world and be the light in somebody's darkness. If you guys made it this far into the podcast, thank you so much for listening. It's awesome. Thank you, gamers, so much. You guys are amazing. Stay happy, stay healthy, and most of all, gamers, stay golden. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.